German from Germany, but you cannot remove the paperwork and the devotion to stratifier and hierarchy and engineering from the German. The two are inextricably linked, and I think that's a beautiful thing. I'll be real quick because I'm already hogging the conversation, and I don't want to do that. But I don't know you. You don't know me, and so my words will be of limited value to you. But I would just say that for what it's worth, I completely understand your drive to get in touch with German identity and German culture. I 100% respect it, and you are definitely right in that those things helped shape the West. But my suggestion, and again, take it or leave it, is that rather than devoting yourself to the past and the German language, which was in your family's past, I respectfully submit that perhaps your best course of action would be to take upon yourself to find the greatest aspects of the German soul, such as a devotion to engineering and order and productivity and good morals and decency, and taking that spirit within yourself and investing it, devoting your energies in that form to building this nation into the greatest form it can possibly take going forward, to honor the American nation and the American spirit with the German identity in your bones and in your blood, and to build on this soil something that your German ancestors could be proud of.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, that's what I try to do, and it's not like they're gone, and it's not like it is the past. Most of my family speaks fluent German. I mean, you can't deny the Amish. The thing is this nation has been flooded and sculpted by Germans. And there has been a war that's been ignored between Germans and the North, and England, the people that were in England. The people, the ones that want the fucking slave, the snobby little shit faggots that fucked it up 1,000 years ago. There has been a fucking issue that we need to hash out that has to do with paperwork and the fucking idea. And they've been fucking with shit and working with the goddamn Jews and these other motherfuckers that like that. Well, I don't know how you guys feel about Churchill, but I mean, that dude's I mean, you guys, yeah, that's another conversation.
His mom was a Jew, apparently. And you know what, Blitz? You might be better. Blitz, if you want to get in touch with your German roots, your heritage, you might be better off learning, and I'm just kind of being a moron here, you might be better off learning how to make some fantastico Jägerschnitzel und Spatzel und Bier, you know? I mean, the cooking, the food. I think German cuisine is some of the best. I grew up going to a restaurant called Speckmann's. Speckmann means fat man. And the food are just absolutely wholesome and delicious, man. You know, you look at the German people in Germany today, they're becoming a fucking Zionist police state. They're being absolutely dispossessed, disenfranchised, vilified in their own nation. I don't know. You even look at AfD, Alternative for Deutschland. I mean, they're totally Zionist occupied in the same way Trump is. I just don't see the degree of hope here. Here I see we have it in America. First Amendment, I think we'll ever have them taken from us. They're going to try. I don't think it's going to happen. And in Germany, they have no such protections. That's just my 2 cents. I'm going to listen and drop down, guys. 2:29 a.m. here. Going to hit the hay here soon. Good check. Fitz and Mitch, nice meeting you, kids. And I say kids because you're probably half my age.
Yeah, white power.
That's right. White power.
Yeah, take it easy, Mighty.
Good space. Thanks, AR.
Not a problem.
It's a pleasure. My pleasure, definitely.
Is the general still there? Yeah, I'm not sure.
He shouldn't be. I think it's 5:30 in the morning.
No, I know.
4:30 in the morning. So
No, it's 4:30 here. It's 5:30 where he's at. But his space starts at 6, I believe. So,
he's pulling an all-nighter on a Sunday night.
well, I am too. I started the space at 7 o'clock. But, anyways, I'm probably going to shut it down too. And General, you guys can all hop over to General space in about a half an hour. I got to get some things ready for my kid to go to school here this morning. And but I'm glad.
All right, we'll jump over into another space until General gets his fired up.
To what I believe it should have been, but God has a different view, at least today, Israel. So the reality is, this is the hand that we're being played, that you are being played. I live in New Jersey, that Israel is being played, and we'll see how it goes. This is not the final chapter. This is just Act 1.
It's not, right, 2. It's not. But to me, this is, again, I mean, what I'm saying is, to me, this is the great concern, is that in 10 years from now, or however long, when they regroup and reformulate and rearm themselves to the teeth, is that my sons are going to have to fight on that same battlefield again. And so that's kind of the bitter, walk away from 2 years of sacrifice. And so, time will tell.
It's hard.
And
My son is 8. In 10 years,
What's that?
He'll be in the Army. My son is 8. In 10 years, he will be in the Army. That's
what I'm saying. Correct. That's what I'm saying. And so as a father that doesn't want to see his children have to see the same horrors and evil that we had to face in these 2 years, and just forget the soldiers. That's part of what we sign up for, so to speak, is, especially if you're in combat. I expect the sacrifice, right? It's to be expected. But for my civilians, for the families to be under the gun and under constant threat, no way. That's unacceptable. That to me is the red line. So let's see. Time will tell, guys. We can, as we're watching these things unfold, relish the good moments. But let's see, how these concerns that both I have and my fellow teammates have, to see how things are going to, how hopefully this threat of Hamas will be eradicated once and for all in the Gaza Strip. How we're going to achieve it, how that's going to be possible, I don't know. But one thing I can say that I think, I don't know if this has been talked about in the forum yet, but to me, what was really beautiful this morning was watching all the religious Jews that gathered at the Nova Festival site with the 4 species and having a special morning prayer service on the site where this horror happened 2 years ago. And to me, that was...
Sorry, I don't want to hear this dude fucking stumping for genocide. I guess AR didn't shut his space down yet.
Group of people. We are ethnically American, and that's the only way we're going to stay.
Yeah, but Germans are different. In different parts of Germany, you're going to find different kinds of Germans, like totally different types of Germans in Germany.
Fuck, we're about to shut this down. You shut your mouth up. Now it's my turn to speak. Look, in America, we have different accents. Even in the UK, you can go to different parts of London. They have different accents, different ways, but they're still of the same ethnicity. We are ethnically American. If we're going to save this country and stop playing the fucking Jewish side, I hear all these fucking guys, it's the Jew, it's the Jew, it's the Jew, and then they turn around and suck the dick of the Jew and say, I'm not American, I'm European. That's sucking the dick of the Jew. That's Ghislaine Maxwell's father's dick in your mouth. Robert Maxwell is what that is. Because he's the one that's telling you have to identify as European and not American. And this is how they're destroying America. This is how they're coming in and taking over America. Because people don't want to identify as ethnically American. And it's selling us down the fucking river. It's that simple. So everyone who keeps pushing this European bullshit, they just got Robert Maxwell's dick in their mouth. Of Ghislaine Maxwell, of Maxwell Publishing. Because that's how you destroy a nation. That's how you gut it from within. Is to convince everyone they have no ties to this country. And I get it, Mighty. You're not really heavily American because you're a first gen. I get it. It's different for you. But for some of us who have been in this country since 1620, it's a whole different situation for us. And that's why when we bring people like your parents to this land, we demand that they adhere to our way of life. We don't adhere to their way of life. They must adhere to our way of life. And that's why you're ethnically American, Mighty, and you don't speak the languages of your parents, because they made sure that you were American ethnically. Your parents demanded that from you, so that you would adhere to the American ethos, the ethno-state of America, and that you wouldn't adhere to Swiss. Okay, that's the whole point. That's what a nation is. And as our founding fathers stated, this is what we demand from people who come here. And if they can't figure it out because the Jew fucked them up so bad and they psyoped them so goddamn bad, they're gonna have to re-educate themselves. Because American is an ethnicity. The definition of an ethnicity are people of the same culture, heritage, race, lineage, language. That's what we are. Okay, that's what Americans are. That's the definition of an American. So get on board, get Robert Maxwell's dick out your mouth, and start figuring it out. Otherwise, there's going to be no America left. They will take it from us. And they are doing it because everyone's so busy trying to adhere to some bullshit that has nothing to do with them. Unless we figure this out really fast, we have no future. I have children. I want a future for my children. Okay? I don't give a shit about Europe. I've spent enough time there to realize that America is my homeland and not Europe. Okay? I've spent enough time in Europe to realize that I love America and America is my homeland. Europe is not my homeland. That's not where I'm from. That's not my culture. Yes, when I walk around, they look at me and they think I am one of them until I start speaking. But even the way that they stand in line at the grocery store, something as simple as that, you can realize that your culture is different than theirs. When you get in an elevator and they want to stand on your fucking neck, you can realize your culture is different than their culture. Okay? It's just a fact. Every single aspect of your daily living, you realize your culture is different than theirs. And people who haven't spent time in Europe are probably ignorant of these things. And so they think, well, maybe Robert Maxwell is telling me the truth. The Mossad agent. Figure it out. That's all I have to say.
Well, you are correct here, General. So that was good.
Well, the 1790 Act, the Naturalization Act, it just says you have to be white. This pushing it beyond that and saying if you fucking think that you're German or think that you're European, that's what the Jews want us to forget about where we come from. They want us to forget about our culture, and that is in my life. So, dude, I think you just took it a little bit too far there. I mean, hopefully you can get over that. But yeah, I'll fucking.
They want
you want to strip me or tell me I got a problem with my German? I'll hog stomp your fucking face in the curb, motherfucker.
Look, and the whole point is
Yeah, you're doing the Jew. You're the fucking Jew, dude.
Blitz.
Talking that fucking bullshit. How dare you fucking tell me I got Maxwell's
You got Maxwell's dick in your fucking mouth. That's what I just said, Blitz. Okay? And the Jews want us to adhere to our identities of Europe. That's what they want, you dumb fuck. You're too fucking stupid to get that. Are you sure you're German? Because your IQ's about fucking 70 at this point. When you walk around America and you ask them what's your ethnicity, you got all these dumb fucks saying, I'm German. I'm French. Oh, I'm Portuguese. I'm this. I'm British. No, you're fucking not. You're American. And that's the point. They want you. The Jews want you to adhere to your European roots because that delineates you from America. That dilutes your American identity. They don't want you to have the American identity so they can take over America and they can control the fucking world from America. That's the fucking point, Blitz. You're too fucking stupid to understand that. That's the point. You think the Jews want you to forget about your European heritage? No, they fucking demand that you say you're German. They fucking demand. Go tell a fucking Jew that you are ethnically American and find out what they fucking tell you. I've done it more times than I can count. And you know what they tell me every fucking time? No, you're not. That doesn't exist. You're from Europe. What country in Europe are you from? They demand it. This is what the Jews demand, you dumb fuck. You might as well go and curb stop your own fucking face with Maxwell's dick in your mouth. Go, Blitz. Next time you go to a space, you see a Jew space open, go there and say, I'm ethnically American. And watch what they tell you. And watch what they demand from you. You'll find out real fast that the Jews want you to adhere to your European roots and not to your American ethnicity. You'll find out in an instant. That's what they want. That's what Maxwell wants. That's the point. We've gone down this rabbit hole. We've done the research. We know. Anyways, AR, you can shut it down. We're gonna get fired up.
Yeah, that's perfect. And make sure you guys are following Rush, and they'll be starting their show here shortly. So we'll see everybody over there.
Alright, so looks like General's fixing to get his show fired up. We'll jump back over here into this pro-Jew, freaking pro-genocidal bastard ass space for a little bit until General gets his space fired up.
Been to war, but I've played a lot of sports. I've done martial arts. I've gotten fights. I've done a lot of exercise in my life. Is after you work, is the biggest gains that you make when you're exercising is during the rest period. You work hard, you train, and then that actually breaks down your muscle. Your muscle tears when you're working out, right? That's actually what happens to it. And then that little rest period that you have, whether it's 1 day or 12 hours or 3 days, depends what schedule you're on, that's when you're actually getting stronger. Okay, so Israel's just fought for their longest war in the history of the country, including the War of Independence. Okay, and they've made enormous gains in every possible kinetic way, from Gaza to Iran. The whole Iranian axis has been significantly reduced, very significantly reduced. Now it's the time to consolidate those gains and get political benefit from those gains, and that's what they're doing starting today. And they're going to be doing that in Egypt, and they're going to be doing that if it's true that the president of Indonesia comes tomorrow, and all this stuff. You have to reap the gains and then get stronger, because the war is never over, okay? The war is not over. It's been going for 78 years, and before that, if you want to go back to the Yishuv, okay? It's never over until it's, like I said, until end times, okay? It's just, are you putting yourself in a better position? But I guarantee you, whether as God has my witness, that Israel will be stronger 5 years from now than it is today. It'll be stronger 10 years from now than it is 5 years from now. And it'll be largely because of, obviously all God's help, but in terms of the tangible, the stuff that's happened in the last 2 years and the stuff that's going to happen in the next year or two while they're resting.
Okay, two things, AB, and then I'll forever hold my peace. And yeah, and I mean it. It's been a long day, a lot of emotions. But the reason why Israel never won, Israel won wars, obviously, all its wars. But we're also called to root out evil. And there's evil in Gaza. And I don't, look, I know the story of Israel. I know how Israel's story ends because I believe in Yeshua. I believe in God. I believe in Yeshua. The Bible's clear. You obey Jeremiah 31. I just listened to a sermon the other day from a wonderful Jewish, preacher. He said, look, why doesn't somebody tell the gangsters, jihadi gangsters, that if they want to get rid of us, Jews, go get rid of the sun and the moon and the stars? Because that's what the Bible says, and I believe it. I know how the story of Israel ends. It's God's story. But on the flip side, you and I live in North America. You curse Israel, what happens? So we can't just go rushing. Israel needs to be allowed to make deals on its own terms. Get rid of Hamas, fences come down, whatever. Israel needs to be stable. October 7th didn't happen because Israel did something wrong. No, get rid of Hamas. Israel should be allowed to do that at all costs. And I'm holding my peace now.
Hamas just made a statement. They're begging and urging Trump and the mediators to ensure Israel does not resume its war in Gaza.
Okay, it's ridiculous. So one of their leaders is coming out saying they're going to do more attacks. Another is saying, please don't hurt us. I mean, this is the state of the current leadership. They're all fighting amongst themselves. Frankly, maybe there's a possibility that none of them are going to remain, and Israel won't have to fight them because they're going to fight themselves.
Oh my gosh,
so I mean, there's a possibility.
Man, I can't be in those damn rooms, bro. Sorry, I'm not a big fan of fucking genocide. Keep killing people off their fucking land so you can have a fucking beach resort, you fuck.
Is killing our entire movement. And I'm not talking about anyone in particular. I'm just saying that this is killing the movement. If the whites came together, ethnic Americans with this may sound Jew to some people, but I absolutely guarantee you I'm not a Jew. I'm an ethnic American through and through. But I'm just saying, if we band together, we can easily defeat all these oppositions. And I'll just leave it there for now.
Brother, I could not agree more. It actually kills me to see all this factionalization and the petty infighting. I find I have a hard time with it. I do. I'm not gonna lie. It hurts the people. It's bad for morale.
It hurts my soul, to be honest. I'm right there with you 100%. I don't want to have to fight my fellow brother, and we shouldn't. We all know who the enemy is, and that should be the focus. It shouldn't be my brother or my sister that is my enemy.
I totally agree with you, man. I'm really glad that you brought that up. And I want to invite you to bring that up again, frequently, more and more. It's a problem. And I think part of it is we're all frustrated because we all realize it's wartime, and but there's nothing kinetic going on, right? So it's just misdiverted aggressive energy, right? We're frustrated. That's what it is. And can't forget who the enemy is. I mean, the enemy probably hears these little squabbles, and they probably love it. I would imagine if I wanted to take somebody out and I saw them fighting amongst their own, that would bring me great joy. So I'm glad you brought that up. I'm glad I'm not the only one who thinks so, but I think a lot of people feel the same way.
Yeah, I agree with you, Name. If I was the enemy, this would be the perfect thing to do. You have your enemies eliminate each other under, these different pretenses, and you have little to fight.
Well, y'all are fucking in.
I'm trying to bring that last guy, Blitz, in. It sounds like he's having a hard time. He's having a hard time. He's got his pet focus on the German identity. I guess he's first gen. I don't know. I can't even imagine that. I can't imagine that sort of obsession over being German. I mean, I love the fact that I'm part German, but I'm American first.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I'm 55% German, but when somebody asks me what I am, I'm an American. I'm not a German. My ancestors came over here to create a better life and to have this life in America, and this is what we have. And that is what we need to adopt. That is our nationality. That is our ethnicity. That is our heritage. That is our birthright. Is when we became an American, this is our blood. This is our soil. This is our land. And it's to not be fucking trifled with in the infighting. Again, I don't know if you can hear it in my voice. It hurts my soul deeply.
I'm with you on that, brother. If anybody in here feels the same way, I want to encourage you to start speaking out a little bit. We got to start saying, like, hey, we got to come together. Like, some of the stuff the lefties get right, that's one of them. Like, stronger together. It's true.
Yeah, I've been in those. Good morning, everybody. I'm literally just waking up, waiting to drive. I've gone into those spaces, and I keep going into those spaces. A certain space hates me, and I'm a white woman, and these are very white.
It's the Christian question one, isn't it?
Yeah. They hate me. But I keep going in there because I'm used to those. Now I've got another set of Gen Zs that I go into, and I understand them. I've got 2 Gen Z sons, so and they love me and I love them, and they were actually the very, very first space I ever went in before the general space, and because I'm like white power, and I was like, oh my goodness, and so I went in there and I was like, oh hell yeah, I loved it. But they don't persecute me for being a Christian. Now the other one, however, and I still go in there, and I go in there, oh my god, I think I've went in there twice, and they blaspheme me. It's not okay to say that, but you're not gonna my ways. You're not gonna change. I mean, and oh my god, I would kind of taunt that AD guy. Who, if is it anybody? Okay, there's one other listener, so I'll shut up. But I would say, well, I'll be praying for you. God bless you. Jesus He loves you, and you know how I am, Name, sometimes when I'm not been bad. And they were going crazy, and I'm like, these are white people. Why are y'all? I just couldn't. I don't understand it. I've only been in there like 2 or 3 times, but I went into the other one, and they're great. So I don't know. I mean, is it getting really bad? Did I miss something yesterday about the infighting, or what happened in H? What happened, or Name?
I think it's generally like something that's around, here and there. I mean, I think that's definitely one of the worst places. I don't go into those spaces because it's crazy. I mean, that is genuine. Like, they have genuine hatred. Like, it doesn't matter if you're white or not. But yeah, hey Blitz. Hope you're doing all right. Good listening to you.
Yeah, I think it's funny you're talking about CQ. I mean, some of those guys just became don't even want to get into it. There's a lot of people that they flip flop back and forth real quick, and I can't even trust that. But I mean, I do know there's a way to go about a discussion. I think at some point, like I mean, you're gonna have discussions. The whole Inquisition and forcing people to say things, and families that are broken because one person in the family just, isn't able to say in Jesus. They kind of get ousted. So there's little things that kind of like with Christianity that gets broken up, and it's not all the same too. There's all that, but the other thing, I thought that was the discussion we were having before was weird though. Just about I don't know how you can divide or take Europeans. Like I understand you can go to Europe and find a lot of fucking idiots. I mean, you go to Europe, you're gonna have to look just as hard as you're gonna look in America for people that are actually like doing cultural things that would say that they're paying attention to the laws of nature and nature's law. So I mean, it's easy to say that it's stupid to say that we're those people. I mean, a lot of them are consumers. They're just, but we're speaking a European language. Almost everything I don't understand. Like I understand, like general, like with you gotta be for this country first. You gotta be for America first. I understand that, but I just don't understand why he is so pushed on this thing. Like he's saying you gotta, like you don't want to be saying you're European. You don't want to be saying you're German. I don't understand that.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, and I can get why it was frustrating for him too, because he's been really on this mission for like a really long time and put a lot of energy and focus into American identity and America as an ethnicity. And his position basically is that America is a distinct ethnicity, right? And there was a unique ethnogenesis that occurred, a distinct set of people that came over here and became the founding stock with distinct attributes. And I think the overall, to capture it, I mean, you cannot have an ethno-state without an ethnicity, right? So if everybody over here is saying, I'm this, and identifying with their old ethnicity, then how can America be an ethno-state for Americans, right?
Well, but isn't it all based off of the Naturalization Act of 1790 and like the way Jefferson defines in his writings what a nation is, how he defines it as a people, and he's talking about other people, blacks and Indians, and calling them other nations. I don't see it. So I don't see anywhere where there's this concentration on like there's anywhere where a white person saying that they're where they're from, or what kind of cultural traditions, what coat of arms they have, what relics they have from the old world that would be called, when someone asks what's that from, you would say Germany, whether it's the people of, the culture of, or the place, one or the other. I don't see where that's ever a problem for white people, like where we have to argue that, or that's going to keep us from being the United States. I think what the problem is it's just real simple. Nobody who isn't white should be having a fucking say in it. And I think if we get them out of it, then we'll get down to the core problem, which is, yes, there are people who think this is their fucking nation and think that there's some kind of like, like you can just put any idea you want forth in our communications and start telling people like, you have to say Jesus is 3 people or 2 people, and that's where the Christian kind of like thing comes in. But it's beyond Christian. You can do it in college as well. You can start bending certain, teachings and telling people that they have to accept this thing before it's proven. Because there is like an argument of, for example, have you ever heard of like people argue about like the bullying, like how that's healthy? Like when I was in high school, I had somebody I wasn't as fit as I could be. And I had this girl, she had her boyfriend come up to me because I was on the wrestling team, and he like approached me. He's a big dude, and he's like, "Hey, dude, I can show you some, how to work out or whatever to get, muscle mass." This whole thing where we need bullying and that's a part of our culture, that's not a fucking part of our culture. I spent my whole life beating the fuck out of bullies and watching a whole town turn around and do things. There's these things that come from a fucked up, European nations that have been fucked up. And so, there shouldn't be any shame. We should be able to see beyond that. I mean, anything that's bad about these European nations is usually, you're talking about a time when they got screwed over and things started turning. But when they're at their prime, and people are, no one's trying to change the ideology away from, the obvious, the natural law, the things that they're based in. They're fucking awesome cultures, and they make up the roots of America. So I don't understand, how on fucking earth can that be the Jew problem? Because that's what we should be doing. Everyone should be taking root. And yeah, you have your Americans who've been here, plenty of people that aren't connected to that at all. But they don't realize a lot of the things that they're doing are from those European nations. You wouldn't have an America without Europe. It's a European fucking language.
Shit, Sherlock. Why are y'all
okay, we can say, okay, well, it's the people. And it has something to do with the paperwork. Well, that's in fantasy land. We are in a world with fucking paperwork. That's how we communicate. So that's part of it. That's part of the fucking thing. That's part of the root. That's what this is all about. That's the meeting place, the creation of language. And this is supposed to be a meeting place for Europeans. This is our project. This is our nation. So I don't understand this. I don't understand that denial. I mean, I get it. I thought I understood it. I thought that was a rebuttal to people that are just don't care about anything, and they're just like, oh, well, I'm this and I'm that, and they're not doing anything at all except going to a fucking football game and not doing anything. That's what I thought when I used to listen to, and that's what I thought where he's coming from.
Y'all shouldn't be fucking hosting these spaces if you can't answer this fucking retard.
He just sounded really upset with the whole idea. It just feels weird that he's so upset that people would say that they're from these countries.
Are you first generation that's born and raised in America?
Oh, thank God. Let's go over to general space.
No, I'm founding father stock on what side?
God almighty, I can't stand listening to fucking retards. General will put them in their fucking place when they're being retarded. Usually takes just like a minute.
Good morning, everybody. Well, post up link real quick. So I can get some people in here. Looks like Donald Trump is at the Knesset this morning. Knesset, whatever, I don't know. He's live right now in front of the Israeli parliament. It'll be interesting to see what he says after all this.
Usually takes just a minute or two to get.
Morning rush. Yeah. Times it'll take you to get up here.
First on the charm. Perfect. Good morning. Yeah, I was just listening to the introductions right now. They haven't gotten into Trump's speech yet, and there's cheering for everyone. And it was funny that these are introducing Marco Rubio and everybody, but when they introduced Jared Kushner, the crowd went crazy. It's almost like he's on his home field.
Well, it is his home field. He's a Jew. That's his homeland. He lives there. He doesn't live in New York. He lives in Israel. Trump has sent Kushner over there. His whole time he's been over there in the Middle East doing all those deals and shit. He was the one I think Trump sent initially to start doing the negotiations with the Hamas to end this shit. So, yeah, I mean, he's over there and he's got Kushner's father over in France. He sent those guys the hell away from him. Good morning, Ivy.
Good morning, everybody. I hope you have a nice day. He will go to kiss the wall soon after this announced speech, because he will be dead if he doesn't do that. And today in Egypt, we will see what happened. All 20 of living hostages are back to Israel, and this is all. For me, everything is just scenario for the world. I don't have good feeling because Trump is surrounded with people who doesn't care if he's dead or not. Rubio, JD Vance, they will be so happy to take his position and just continue to destroy the United States. So I really don't have good feeling. Maybe it's in my head, but we will see. But he needs to go to kiss the wall. Are we going to bet today? Is he going or not?
I asked Jimmy the Jew. He said 80% chance.
I'm sure 100%.
Yeah, I mean, it's gonna be fun. By the media, optics is a huge win, and it's gonna. Trump's gonna be the peacemaker, peace in the Middle East once again. Even though I think we'll see media blackouts continued, and I mean, Gaza is a completely flattened hellhole. I mean, the buildings where a lot of the people are like camped up in and stuff, that people that aren't in the refugee camps and stuff, they're completely dilapidated and destroyed. I saw like this one video of this lady like building back this bottom part of the building. I mean, the rest of the building is like structurally damaged. You can't live in that long term. I mean, it's eventually going to collapse.
Rush, they drop the bombs equal 20 Hiroshima nuclear bomb.
Wasn't it 21 Hiroshimas or 22 Hiroshimas? Somewhere in
Yeah,
there.
something like that. There is no life there.
Yeah,
I don't know.
The before-after shots.
Yeah, there is no life in Gaza.
But I mean, that's the thing. Trump's saying that those people are going to get to stay there. So I'm curious to how that's going to go out. I feel it's eventually just going to end up with more Palestinian refugees in the West. They're all coming here. and I mean, we've already taken some of them. Europe's taken some of them. It's like a victory thing. I think Israel's kind of won in their endeavor. Maybe this means Trump can finally have permission as a Shabbos Goy to start focusing on America and our country and what our country needs to save it. I don't know. I'm not holding my breath too much.
No, next for him will be Ukraine. Now he needs to solve also that war. He needs to go that direction, so he will leave America for last. I have feeling. And you know, the Russians said if he gives Tomahawk missiles, they don't know if they are fired with nuclear warhead or not. So I don't know if he approved that, what will happen with that area.
I mean, you know if it's nuclear warhead or not. I mean, there's a few markings on the ones that are nuclear warheads, and it's a far step to say we're going to give them nukes. I mean, to me, it's sickening we're giving them Tomahawk missiles. I mean, those are extremely expensive missiles. It's some of our best technology. Why are we releasing that stuff out to that market?
Well, who paid for it, Rush? It's because Europe paid for it.
Did they? There was stuff in the spending bill for it, though.
As far as Trump said, he said They were gonna be paid for all by Europe.
What are the tomahawks? Yeah, well, the previous shipment that we sent them, I'm not sure, I guess the tomahawks were included in that. I think it was 340 million, which isn't that much money. It's more money than any of us collectively could spend in a lifetime, but it's a blip in the eye on these defense budgets. But he has funded Ukraine, and I think the only reason Ukraine and that global homo is still going is because Trump is propping it up. No one no European nation has the military might to stand, by Ukraine the way they need it, and Trump hasn't completely abandoned them. So, I mean, I understand playing both sides and doing the will of NATO of what they want, but to me, it just seems like the global homo is getting what they want.
Yeah, they're fighting. They have a lot of power. The global homo has a lot of power, and they're fighting, and they're gonna get things that they want because they do have a lot of power. Until we can get these jackasses out of Europe, we're gonna be doing this dance back and forth continuously. It's a big problem. Trump is trying to kick them all out. They don't want to kick them all out, all the refugees, because then the banks won't be able to lend any money anymore. They'll collapse on themselves, and the global homo will disappear. That's why they keep importing. That's why Russia's importing a bunch. You see, Russia said they were going to bring 1 million Jeets into Russia because the bankers, if you want to keep your ratios correct with your printing of the money, you have to have a bunch of people in your country. And by him bringing in 1 million more, it's allowing them to print more money for his war machine. So, yeah, it's a disaster. Even for Putin. Putin's getting dicked around by the global homo too, with his own banks, trying to keep it up. It's not good for Putin at this point either. So we'll see. And Putin knows Trump, he has all the cards. He can do what he wants. So I don't know, we'll see. I think Putin's trying to drag it out for as long as he possibly can. That's my take on it.
When did this banker limit, currency limit per population become enacted? Because I never heard of it before today, but it's actually the second time I've heard it today. Or actually yesterday maybe. It's curious. I mean, if that's always been the case, I mean, wouldn't you think countries like China and India would be much more successful with their overall population? They would have unlimited funds to the global homo currency, and you'd see all these massive infrastructure projects in China and India. It's odd that you're not seeing that. If it really is based off population. I've never heard that before. Is that just how they're justifying the invasion and going to justify the continued invasion? Is adding this population statistic into the available loan amounts?
Well, each person in the United States who's a citizen has a certain account associated with their social security number that you can't touch. It's not for you. It's for the banks to print money against your name.
Right. Oh, okay. I mean, but not everyone takes out loans, and not everyone has availability to large loans. The other loan, bigger loans other people have. So I guess
No, it's not about you personally. It's not about you personally. It's about how much the banks can loan against you as a person to give to other countries.
Yeah, I think I need to get a master's degree in finance before I'll understand it. It's very difficult to understand the way these bankers manipulate the system. But I mean, it's frustrating though that they're continuing to push that you need to allow your countries to be invaded and your GDP needs to continue to go up. I mean, we even have Marjorie Taylor Greene. I mean, your post on her yesterday was great. Bending down to business, to global warming, and that's exactly what I feel like is happening. And it's funny, like I remember in 2015, Trump coming down those escalators, and I said, you know, screw him. Lead that's only going to be out for himself and other businessmen. He's not going to care about the people of America. And then, you know, and then I saw the media attacking him, and I realized I did support him, and I eventually came around to supporting Trump. I believe I was supporting DeSantis in that election prior to that. But you know, Trump, you know, really to me is just completely bowed down to business. This administration. I mean, it's important. We have to keep our economy going. But you know, hearing people like even like Marjorie Taylor Greene is like, oh, we have to be smart about how we do these mass deportations because you know we need the labor force. It's we really are in a nation suicide moment right now, and we no white pills within our government. Even the people you think are for you, like Marjorie Taylor Greene, complete sellouts.
That's the problem. We don't really have anyone that's America first.
Yeah, and they're all for enriching themselves. And I'm throwing your post up there if no one saw it. And I know we get a little bit of a different weekend spaces versus our weekday. You guys might not have seen that post yesterday, but there were some pretty entertaining weekend spaces that we had this week, and it was some good debate. But no, I wouldn't call them good debates, but educated debates with FBAs. I wish the Saturday show was recorded because I wanted to go back and look at some of that history. But then we had some more good debates on Sunday. It's always interesting on the weekend shows. It's good to test your iron and debate people that disagree with you. You know, not that we all agree in this room or the people on our panel agree, but we all agree to the same goal. You know, we're all ethnic Americans pushing for the prosperity and the future of ethnic Americans, or our people are aligned with ethnic Americans like Ivy. But you know, the weekend spaces, you get people that have their own goals and mission within society, and that's really you know, they like calling it identity politics. I mean, that's really what everyone is. Everyone's an identity politics type of person, and out for their people. I mean, you should be, especially when we live in a world where diversity and inclusion and is completely surrounded by identity politics. You know, we have to be, and I mean, the only way it really just instilled to me, you know, how great that having the Ethnic American Project is. I mean, because the only way you're going to you know, take your nation back is coalesce around an identity and focus on your group as an identity and what's going to make your group in particular successable. And a term came across over the weekend, and I really like it. General coined it, but I'm going to use it. And anyone wants to take the credit for this term, General doesn't like taking the credit for it, but American supremacist. You know, people like throwing labels at you, you know, and my label is I'm an American supremacist. I'm for America, as our founding fathers intended America to be, and I'm I'm really excited about the future of America, seeing the way things are turning. There's some pretty interesting sound bites came out over the weekend with Glenn Beck interviewing some college-age kids after he had a speech, and these kids were all that generation's Z, asking really hard questions to a staunch Zionist. I believe he is a dual citizenship passport holder now, Glenn Beck, and forcing him. At one point, the crowd was chanting, "Israel or America? Who do you pick, Glenn? Who's first in your heart? Israel or America?" I mean, it's great seeing the way the Overton window is shifting, and the youth and the American right is really turning against Israel. It's going to make for an interesting midterm elections to see the way Trump plays this. Is he going to focus on the nation and our people and try to save his base for the midterm elections, or is he going to continue to placate to the donors? I mean, and I blame the liberals for him being so bold. I mean, I saw the AIPAC tracker for Trump today. It had 230 million. I mean, a large reason he took out that loan was because, or that money that was given to him was to keep himself out of prison from the New York DA, Letitia James, where she got indicted last week from a grand jury. So there's a lot of stuff happening. We might actually start seeing some retribution and some things transpire, but it was an interesting week.
Just to tell you now, I have news here that Netanyahu will not be in that meeting in Egypt because of Jewish holiday or something. So this is bullshit. He will not attend meeting.
Yeah, it was just a dink. I put up that clip in the jumbo if people want to see what Russia's talking about with Glenn Beck and the Gen Zs. Really, the guy was sweating bullets. He was completely not ready for that. He had never been grilled like standing on stage. Like when Vivek got up on the stage, he got eviscerated. Like every single one of these guys who get on stage, and these young guys, it's just like they're used to Charlie Kirk style, where you can just ask questions and demand, and they want an answer. And if you don't give a straight answer, they're gonna keep demanding. It's like Jimmy was in over the weekend. He was getting pissed at me because you keep asking the same question. Yeah, because you don't answer the question. If you just give one of those goofy responses and a demand, you give a straight answer, right? And that's what these kids are doing now to all these people, and they're not ready for it. And the youth, they don't care. They don't have jobs to lose. They don't have families to lose. They have, they don't even have a future. So they're just going at people left, right, and center hard as they can. And yeah, I can only imagine people are gonna be afraid to go to Turning Point USA now if the kids are gonna be that hardcore. They're demanding America first, America only. That their future has been sold out. They want these kids to work for $7.50 an hour. That's what they want from these kids, and they're saying, "Fuck you. We're not going to do that." It's just unacceptable. But I put up a post from J.D. Vance up there, and he says, Chuck Schumer and the Democrats decided on the shutdown. He said, now we're going to remove all the Obama and Biden implants into the government. We're going to go after all the Democrat bureaucrats. We're going to lay them all off. So all it's doing is playing right into Trump's hands, exactly what he needs to get rid of all these people. He's been wanting to do it for a long time, and now they've given him the opportunity to do it, and J.D. Vance is telling him, we're just going to fire all the Democrats, or in the in the government, all these bureaucrats who have been in there forever, you know, they're gonna go. So that's pretty base. I think that's a good sign, and it's the perfect optics to get rid of all these people who've been in our government, destroying everything from within for a long time. You know, they're the ones that supported all this nonsense. They were the ones who try to bind Trump up whenever he wants to pass something. They see what's happening within the government because they work there, and then they turn around and let whoever needs to know in order to stop it. So looks like the government might get a well-needed haircut of all these lifetime bureaucratic Democrats in the government.
General, is there any connection with Epstein file and shutting down the government? Because they have 200 and how many? 17 signature to release files?
Yeah, I don't know. I have no idea. But at the end of the day, they're going after these guys. Morning,
Sorry, guys.
Go ahead, Rush.
No, I was just trying to fill in there and talk about how I'm watching this delegation. Every now and again I'll throw mute off of it, and they're all speaking Hebrew the whole time. This whole thing's in Hebrew, but it's being broadcast on White House's website. I mean, it is just sitting and watching our president being put up there as like a spectacle right now. But with their made up language that they just made up like 7 years ago. But yeah, Jim.
Well, I don't want to derail the conversation, but you always speak of wartime levels of propaganda, Rush, and I was watching my local news because I'm trying to get away from that global homo Fox News. Trying to take some advice, and which I've been, until I saw this commercial, right? And it's for this mental health place, right? And they're talking about how we need to start handling the gun situation because of teenage suicide. And we know who kills themselves 42% of the time, or attempts to, right? 42% of the time, who's inherently violent towards themselves. We know the statistics on this, right? The special 302.6s, that's gender dysphoria. And so those folks are probably the ones that they're accounting for those teenage suicides. And what are they doing? They're focusing on our Second Amendment. Just, they make 30-second commercials this early in the morning trying to frame things that way. And it's frustrating to see that war levels of propaganda that you speak of. But it's terrible. And so I just see that, and it makes me disgusted because we know in between the lines. And I think that's the greatest thing about this space is that it oftentimes gives me that type of perception in this time of the morning, waking up this early. So that's why I enjoy the show. Thank you.
Perfect. Yeah, thanks, D. I mean, it is funny. I mean, you see propaganda in the news feeds and the way they're presenting the information, but the commercials is where you really see that propaganda. It's not that, to me, it's not as much about marketing as it is that deliberate, just repeating thing to you every 4 or 5 minutes. They're going to repeat it to you over and over again. And I don't understand how anyone is watching Fox News right now. Because last week I was traveling for work and had Fox News going in the background, and every commercial break they had 2 commercials, every single one, and it was the Holocaust survivor grandma babushkas that are, I guess they're in Siberia, They're not even in Israel, but they want you to send money to the Holocaust survivors, and then the flags for Israel thing. It was on every commercial break. So I mean, they only have like 3 or 4 commercials during commercial break. So this is literally like Fox News was this like Israeli propaganda machine. It's insane. I can't believe anyone can watch that. But to me, it was so white pilling to see that every one of those commercials. I'm like, how desperate have they become? They used to own the right. They used to just know that they own the right, and the right's going to do whatever Israel wants, Judeo-Christian values, all that. The evangelicals control it and enforce the right to be beholden to Israel. But now, to me, it seems like that's going away, and the propaganda is on max level because I think they feel like it'll be more effective if they pump it out there more. But really, it's a pendulum swing, and the propaganda's lost all effect, and it's really kind of turning people against Israel. I think them putting it out in the forefront so much. But yeah, jump in there.
I just wanted, there's one line that I was watching so much of that station that I could remember the lines. Like the best line of one of those commercials, and I'm going to spit it out there and see if anybody remembers it. Her father died in the Holocaust. That commercial right there that says that woman that's like eating like black, like looks like coffee, and like it's so gross. It's on and it's so disgusting. And then when they tell you that her father died in the concentration camp, I mean that commercial right there is the one that has me dropping off my couch, tears rolling down the side of my eye. Like, and it's not because of like why you would think like the cynical laughing. It's because it's so fucking outrageous. It's outrageous. It's just so it's the way they try to suck you in and everything. It's so disgusting. And I promise you, and I see through that, and it's just, oh man, it's awful. It really is. And for somebody and that's why it's so abrasive to me personally, because it's just been within the last year. I served my country like you did, Rush. You play that part of it, drops your guard for being deceived, and then being raised in a Christian monotheistic religion as we are, they often attach it to that, and so you almost feel a blind devotion to it, and you almost feel. And I'm not a traitor. I'm not the traitor's type. But once you just start seeing the reality of things, it's time to jump off that train. But thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you. And hello. Good morning, General.
Yeah, Rush. Can I ask you, what do you think? How many Holocaust survivors will be on 100 University of Holocaust?
No clue. I mean, one of the Holocaust survivors. I know the one that he was talking about there, but the other one they talk about in those commercials was an Ethiopian Holocaust survivor. I didn't even realize they had concentration camps in Ethiopia. Yeah, they recently had that attack last year with that the Turkish Muhammad guy named Muhammad, I think was his first name. But he was attacking some pro-Israeli parade of grandmas, and he threw a flammable liquid. Never lit it on fire, but threw a flammable liquid, and injured multiple people. I think at one point he did injured like 35 people. And then a month later, a woman died. And the woman that died a month later, she was a Holocaust survivor. So I guess they have one less there. But it is such a complete fabrication. The way they factor that is if you had to like leave anywhere, that like Holocaust survivor is much different from a camp survivor, the ones with the tattoos on their arms and stuff. I don't think there's many of those camp survivors left anymore. The ones that went and got those fake tattoos. I don't know what's going on. I remember in elementary school them lining us up as kids and having us, listen to this guy talk about it and show us his tattoo on his arm and stuff. I mean, it was complete brainwashing. Like we were like in the 5th grade and they were doing that to us. And it's funny because like they set it up to where like the teacher, made it seem like it was her friend, and that her friend that came to just give us this thing. But now that I've talked to everyone from all over America, they all had that same experience. It was a design, and there's a whole program to get these people in there to elementary school kids and brainwash them. I mean, that's what they're doing, is just a complete brainwash to try to control the populace. But to me, it's motivating because it really does show how completely desperate they're becoming in the United States.
I got 2 thumbs up out of 60 people.
I saw one person do I saw one person. I heard people talk about churches doing that Flags for Israel thing. I haven't seen that. I've only seen one house in my area. I don't think anyone's doing the Flags for Israel. I think they thought they would have a lot more support than that, because it makes it look pretty pathetic.
Y'all don't love me.
It's all fabricated. I don't know if you know about shoes on the river Danube in Hungary. Of course, shoes everywhere. So you have monument, like if you're walking on the river, there is like lots of shoes. And the story is that in Second World War II, like of course Nazi came and they killed like around 5,000 people and just throw them in the Danube River. Of course, of 5,000 people, there was maybe 1,000 Jews, but that's most important. But recently they went to, like, they tried to find recently any bones or something. They couldn't, and it was done by Jew, so they couldn't find anything. And through all history on that area, nobody see body, there is no bloody river, nothing. So everything is just fabricated. I just want to ask you, did they put your picture of a Nazi soldier, and in the front is a mother holding the child? Did they push that in your schools, maybe?
I don't know. I was a terrible student. Remember any of that?
Yeah, that was like picture of the German soldier, and in front he will shoot the mother, a Jewish mother holding the child. But in actually that was partisan of Tito military, who was killing my people. So it's so many things just fabricated that it's just good money. They took so much money from that. They oppressed Germany with that, and that was their goal.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of those photos, a few have been proven to have Photoshop, like the one where the person's hanging from the tank. I always thought that one was odd, because like you're not high enough off the ground, and no tank commander is gonna really want his barrel to have that kind of barrel stress on it. They don't want people even climbing or pulling down on that barrel like that, much less hanging people off of it. I mean, it was just, to me, it was just always such an odd photo. And to find out that photo was completely fabricated. But talking about fabricated news, I can throw some more information on these. But we had that mass shooting on Friday. 4 people shot, or was it Friday or Saturday? 4 people shot. It was October. It was Friday shooting, Sunday morning. 20 people were shot. 4 were murdered or killed, and the shooting suspects, there really didn't even hear about it anywhere on the news. This is like the Pulse nightclub shooting. Where they shot all the queers is pretty much the same numbers from that. And everyone remembers the news that we got from that story. We're getting no news out of this one from South Carolina. Carolina. No major news outlets have picked it up. Even the local news outlets that have picked it up, they don't name the suspect or tell you anything about the suspect. So what does that tell us about the suspect in this news story? Yeah, it was a black guy that shot up a nightclub, and that's the reason you're not going to really hear anything about that news. But
yeah, Rush, do you know anything what Pam Bondi doing with Second Amendment? Like she wants to collect something, registration of people. I don't know. I read something.
We talked about that on Friday. She's being sued by two different gun rights organizations because she was trying to petition them for their membership rolls. To get a list of all the people that are joining these gun rights organizations, and man, that's why I really hate giving my name and information to anyone, any of these things, because once you're on the list, they want you on that. I'm on enough lists, but it is pretty sick. I mean, in general, pointed out last week that we even talked about this in the space. We debated over this in the space for hours, and I remember being on the side of Pam Bondi. Unfortunately, guys, and I'm going to say that, it was the fact that, when she was the Attorney General of Florida, we had the Pulse nightclub shooting. And then right after that, there was the Las Vegas shooting. And then right after that, there was that Parkland school shooting. And her as Attorney General of Florida, she was, they were pushing for major gun legislation. And I thought it was a win that, she did a little bit of like a Baker Act thing, if you were legally Baker Acted by the court, which is a slippery slope. I mean, that is taking gun rights from specific individuals like that for a temporary amount of time, and it had to have like an end date on it and stuff. And then as well, she did implement a bump, or I think Trump implemented the bump stock ban nationally. So all she did was that Baker Act thing, which to me, I didn't seem like that huge of a loss, because I don't know, I was working an office job, and I'll never forget the rhetoric at the time. I mean, there were right-leaning people that were saying we need to do something about gun registration and who can own guns in America. I mean, because that shooting at Mandalay Bay in Las Vegas was a huge event. I don't know if you remember that, but it was, the guy was shooting fully automatic, sounded like belt-fed machine guns from the windows onto the crowd, and it was a right-leaning crowd, and they shot like 500 people, killed like 50 people. It was the biggest mass shooting of America's history. I mean, Australia gave their gun because like 18 people got shot. You think that, like, if we would ever have gun legislation, it would have been after that event, and they really were pushing gun legislation. And to me, they didn't really do anything. A Baker Act ban and a bump stock ban doesn't really seem like major things, but people did have concerns with Pam Bondi, and because she did enact a Baker Act law, and but I at the same time, it does seem like they might have been right, because her going after these lists is not good. It's not pro Second Amendment, and it's against. We already have to check in with the FBI, and you fill out the paperwork and all those things. So there's already a list, but there's no official registry that they're supposed to have.
Yeah, I remember that shooting, but also I remember it was a long time ago. It was a bank robbery in Hollywood, somewhere. So two guys, like, they have so much weapon and ammo that a policeman. Police didn't have any ammo left, so they go to to buy ammo. I remember that it was all over the news. Two white guy robbed the bank, and it was like the biggest shooting in California. I just remember that in my
Yeah, I mean that's what militarized our police across the country. I mean, before then, police they had their 6-shooter on their hip. They may have had a shotgun, every now and again inside their car. But for the most part, police just had their pistol. But after that event, every police officer now has an assault rifle, which is a good thing. I mean, if you're getting in firefights, and it wasn't just that bank robbery, police were getting in firefights with gang members and stuff all across this country. They needed to have assault rifles. I'm fine with that, but it's the I hate even saying assault rifle, but it's the militarization of, they have up armored vehicles now. They have MRAPs and with cruiser, weapon mounting positions in them. I mean, it's pretty crazy how militarized our police are getting in the United States.
Yeah, Rush, I just wanted to touch back on that. That Holocaust survivor thing that you were talking about before. I put it up in the Jumbotron. And the poetic part of that entire thing, and I'll put it up there. There's one from Colin Rugg and then one from Stu Peters. The one from Colin Rugg, this guy who did it, he was an Egyptian illegal. He was here illegally. He was Egyptian, was the guy who did it. And in Stu Peters' post, you can see that this woman, this Holocaust survivor, was a big advocate and donor to HIAS, the Hebrew Immigrant Aid Society, who was the biggest proponent of invading our country with all these illegals. So she was advocating and helping to pay for our country to be invaded illegally. And then this illegal from Egypt kills her. It's like the jokes write themselves, right? I put it up in the Jumbotron if you guys want to see. But yeah, I mean, this is what happens when you advocate for our country to be invaded illegally. One of the illegals comes along and kills your dumbass. So yeah, she was a complete dumbass for helping to pay illegals to invade our country. And this is what, there's a clip of JD Vance where he has all these Jew balls chasing him down the hallway. And they're running behind him with all their big goofy hats on. And they're saying, but anti-Semitism is going out of control. And he tells them, yeah, we've been invaded with a bunch of anti-Semites. You guys invaded us with these people. What do you want? Like, you did it. What do you want us to do about it? And then the guy says, okay, and turns around and runs away. The little Jew. So it's ridiculous. They're crying about anti-Semitism going out of control, but they're the ones that imported all this shit into our countries. They're the ones that imported all these people into all of our countries. All this pro-Palestine shit, it's all here because of the Jews. Because they opened up our borders with the Hart-Sellers Act of 1965. Emanuel Seller was Jewish. He was pushing that bill since 1923. And when I asked Greg, they said, well, it was because of the Holocaust. And I asked Greg, which Holocaust happened in 1923? And they said, no, there was no Holocaust in 1923. Well, he was advocating for it since 1923. What does the Holocaust have to do with it? And then Greg shut down. And then Greg told me after that, the largest lobby in support of the Hart-Sellers Act was the AJC, the American Jewish Committee. And Emanuel Sellers was Jewish. So these people opened up our borders, and you got 2,000 plus rabbis signing off on HIAS and donating to HIAS to invade our country with all these people. And then they're crying, oh, anti-Semitism's out of control. Yeah, no shit, asshole. Maybe you shouldn't have invaded our country with a bunch of people who hate your dumbass. These people are retarded. Complete, utter retards. Do not tell me ever that Jews have a high IQ. These people are fucking retarded. And this lady paid the price for it, and you can see it right there. She paid the price for her fucking retardation of helping pay for these people to invade our country illegally, and then one of them kills her dumbass. I mean, again, the jokes write themselves. These people are fucking retarded. But anyways, I just wanted to point that out because you brought that up, Rush. I thought it was quite comical, actually, that whole situation, how that went down. The lady who advocates for open borders and helps pay to invade us illegally gets killed by the illegal invader.
Yeah, it almost comes full circle. It was like that U-turn in Florida, and I'm like, I wonder if you got killed in that car accident. I mean, more than likely, it was probably invaders. And then that turned out to be invaders, but because they've allowed so many into this country. I mean, Henry Kissinger even said that on his deathbed interview. We made a grave mistake. It does seem like they are attacking the Muslims and trying to get the Muslims out of the country right now, and we're seeing this spin up on Muslims again, and the rhetoric against Muslims, which I agree with. I don't want Muslims in this country either, but we have a lot bigger issues in this country than the Muslims.
Yeah, I will not be surprised if they just burned yesterday monastery from 16th century in Italy. Totally burned to the ground, all artifacts, all books, everything just disappeared. So there is no suspect yet, but we know what they are doing, piece by piece, just erasing Christianity from Europe.
Yeah. Well, I have to say, yesterday, I had to side with a Jew over Marjorie Taylor Greene. And fat fucking Randy Fine down there said, screw the rhinos, deport every illegal. And I gotta agree with the Jew ball, this big fat fucking cow Randy Fine, over Marjorie Taylor Greene, because he's right and Marjorie Taylor Greene is wrong, and that's true. It's a fact. Randy Fine is correct on this, and Marjorie Taylor Greene is wrong. Marjorie Taylor Greene shit the bed on that. And that's a fact. So, as much as it may come to a surprise to everybody, I side with a Jew on this point over Marjorie Taylor Greene. All the illegals have to fucking go. There can't be any of them left. I don't know, Rush, what's your take on that? Since you're down in the South.
Yeah. I mean, I hate Randy Fine, that loser. I mean, I'm in his comments all the time, making fun of him. But isn't that crazy that he has a better take on immigration than Marjorie Taylor Greene does? I mean, it's. I think we really have to point that out and push that out there, because no one likes that Randy Fine loser. And Marjorie Taylor Greene's trying to be this populist. On that interview where she said that same thing, they're like, well, you're going to be a contender for president. And I honestly don't think, I mean, she might be a vice president. There's no way that lady would ever be president. But she apparently has some grandiose ambitions. I mean, she has to get it right. I mean, we have to make bullying great again and bully her back into submission, because I really do think she does have good intentions for America. But on this issue, she's completely blinded by her own self-interest, her own wealth, her own family's income, and not for the American people. And that's the exact problem we have every other politician in Congress and the Senate, is none of them are looking for the American people. They're all looking for their own self-interest. And we have to make our politicians afraid of us again. They need to start doing the bidding of the people and stop doing their own self-enrichment campaigns.
Yeah, 100%. It's just gotten so far out of control at this point. I don't even... To see politicians come out and say retarded nonsense like that is just... It's so cringe when, they're on that path of, okay, we agree with you. We agree, and then all of a sudden it's just like, wait, what the hell did you just say? And the thing is the vast majority of people who voted, their number one issue is getting these people the hell out of our country. They're the ones who are causing all the problems. Invading, taking the jobs, taking up the housing, causing the price of everything to increase. Like, these are the people who are making the problems. And she's sitting there saying, well, I don't know. We have to just be careful how we deport these people because I'm making a bunch of money off their slave labor. And, I don't want to take a haircut in business. So, we just have to keep them around. You guys have to keep paying for them while I make a bunch of money. Because at the end of the day, we're the ones paying the price, right? We're paying for their health care. We're paying for their food stamps. We're paying for all of their bullshit, right? So yeah, it's and I'll put it up in the Jumbotron here from Randy Fine. And I liked his post, and I'm gonna share it with everybody in the space right now because I agree with the guy 100% on this. He's right. It's up in the Jumbo if you want to see his post. It's his pin post. He says, ignore the rhino, deport every illegal. He's talking about Marjorie Taylor Greene. That was his response. And he's getting a ton of support. He's getting a ton of support for this. And that's what happens when you have politicians. If we're going to have our own politicians rising up in the ranks, they can't be traitorous. They can't be treasonous. They can't stab us in the back. Otherwise, people are going to turn to these guys. You see how that works? And Marjorie Taylor Greene, she better learn real quick that nobody's buying her BS. And she said this multiple times, by the way. This isn't the first time that she said this. She's made this statement multiple times on mass deportation. So it's something that she's not changed her mind on. And she's been pushing her position on this for a very long time. People were in my comments saying, oh, she's trying to placate to her new leftist followers. No. She's had this position for a long time. This is not a new idea coming out of Marjorie Taylor Greene. She's been very clear about, as a construction business owner, I need my slave labor, and all you American assholes out there gotta pay for it. So I can keep making $20 million. I think her net worth is like $21 million right now from her construction company, and it's based off of all illegal employees. I'll pull up some of her older clips, but yeah.
General, and then you have others also, maybe not in this branch of industry, with HB1 visas, with everybody just looking for their interests.
Yeah. Another interesting story I heard, it was actually a couple weeks ago. Didn't make any major news release whatsoever. I'll throw the FBI link down in the bottom. But it's an FBI press release. Apparently this guy was on Facebook Live, and he was making these statements about how the Jews' time in America is limited, and that I guess he had some FBAs that he's arguing with, and this guy, he spoke with like a very black accent. I was listening to some of the videos. So I guess he's getting some arguments from the FBAs, and said that he's ready for the war, race war, and all these things. He said him in an Facebook Live videos that he released on his Facebook page, and then he went and visited a synagogue. I guess he's already under investigation. Then he went and visited a synagogue and tried to talk with the rabbi. He wasn't armed or anything like that. Was just trying to talk to the rabbi, and then they wouldn't let him talk with him, and he left. Well, apparently this guy is arrested for interstate threats and for making a threat on Facebook, and he's arrested and he's in jail awaiting arraignment. So it does seem, and I don't think it has anything to do with any interstate threats towards black people. I mean, that stuff happens all the time. I honestly see this as them cracking down on ethnic Americans that are making interstate threats to Israel or saying anything negative about Israel. So, I mean, you know, we have to be careful. Threatening speech that has a basis of background behind it, I guess because he went and visited the synagogue, isn't declared free speech, and they can arrest you for those things. And you know, this guy is going to jail probably for anti-Semitism in a country where we have freedom of speech. So it does seem like we're getting at pretty crazy times. But yeah, Comply, good to see you. Morning, gentlemen.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. I wanted to respond about Marjorie Taylor Greene or whatever her name is. I don't really care. But this is the same old bullcrap. And sorry to Trump supporters, but it reminds me of what Trump said whenever he said he wasn't going to take any money from the people to be president. But he didn't add that up until now, up at this point right now, he's up to $900 million from Miriam Adelson alone. So he's getting his payday, and we don't want to mention all this flags and coins and all this crap he's been selling for years. Yeah, he got his payday, so he didn't need his chump change for his pocket, what little he could have got off of us. And then Marjorie, she's the same old crap. Anybody that says it's okay to have cheap labor over white labor needs to be removed from office ASAP. ASAP. Okay, I'm done.
Yep, she's gonna definitely need to clarify that, and she's gonna have to change her tune on her position there, because she's getting us to pay for. That's the worst part about it, guys. All these corporations, they're bringing illegals, they're human trafficking illegals into the United States, and then they're making us pay for their health care, us pay for their rent, us pay for their food stamps, us pay for their education, and then they go to work for pennies on the dollar to replace us. And all these corporations, people like Marjorie Taylor Greene, are making tens of millions of dollars off of that cheap labor. And she says, well, wait, how am I going to keep running my business without all this cheap labor? You know, that's just a big problem. We're paying for that cheap labor. And we're also paying for all the people going on welfare who can't work because of people like Marjorie Taylor Greene won't hire them. She'll only hire illegals. So, yeah, it's a big-ass problem when these people say, oh, we want these illegals here because we're paying for them. That's why they can work cheap, because we are paying for it. They're not sticking 10 guys into a house. They're getting free rent. They're getting put up in apartments. They're not getting 10 people in a house. No way. We're paying for it. And that's why our housing prices are going sky high. That's why the food is going sky high. That's why our dollar is hitting the ground. Our dollar has lost 10% of its value just this year alone. You know how much that is? If you make $100,000 a year, you just lost $10,000. That's a lot of money. If your household income is $100,000 a year, you just lost $10,000. So Marjorie Taylor Greene could have cheap labor. So she could make her $20 million empire or whatever bullshit she's trying to build. Keep that in mind. We took a huge haircut, and the year's not even over yet. Who knows how much further it's gonna fall? It's a big deal. And if any of you guys can pull up Marjorie Taylor Greene's previous comments on this deportations and talking about how it's hard to find good labor and all this bullshit, pull it up and put it in the bill down there. I want to post it because she's made these comments at least 3 times. I've seen her make comments like this. This is not a new thing from her. She's been doing this for a long time.
I'd like to know if she's got receipts. She has to pay these people, and from what I understand, when you hear these invaders speak, they're working under the table. So that's not right, because I think I've probably said this story about the guy that came here and worked 8 years, made $100,000 under the table, and was still drawing benefits off of the government, but he sent all his money home to mommy, and then ended up when he self-deported himself, he went back home and mommy had spent his $100,000. So this is ridiculous. I want to know if she's got proof that she paid those people, because, did she pay? I mean, I'm sure she paid them, but I'd like to know how much she paid them and all that stuff and everything. If she's done it legally, I'll put it that way.
Hey, yeah. I just saw your comment there saying you're going to deliver in Portland. Watch out for all those naked faggot homosexuals in the streets. I just saw a clip where they had like a mile long of all these faggot homosexuals in the street naked, just laying on the ground so no one could drive through. That's what you're gonna see. You're gonna see a bunch of little weenies and naked flabbiness when you get over there. Good luck. Yeah, Frank, go ahead, jump in there.
Yeah, it's funny how people change their tune so quick. And again, yeah, it feels like placating, like, oh, whose turn is it to placate, Randy Fine says something that you totally wouldn't expect, because he knows that MGT is under fire, so it makes him look good. Like, I don't believe anyone anymore. But I did want to ask about that Qatari convoy or envoy, or I guess it might have just been one vehicle that was blown up on Saturday with I think it was the Prime Minister. Maybe it has died. I didn't look into the story. I heard it happen. Then I kind of moved on with other stuff. But did you hear about that? Do you have any thoughts on that?
I have no clue what you're talking about.
I'll try to find the story and I'll put it in the purple pill. But yeah, supposedly, they were Qatar.
Oh yeah. We saw the Qatari delegates. We've been talking about that the last couple of days. I think 3 or 4 of them are dead out of the 6. And I saw a picture of them, and the one guy, I recognized the one guy. He's always the main delegate that's always on here. You always see that whenever you see a video of the guys shooting their mouths off, that's the guy. He died. They killed that guy. And then I don't know, there's either 2 or 3 of them that were still in critical condition. And they're going today.
There is no, General, there is no any update on that in news here. Just was one day and nothing, no update. And you have Israeli cross 4 of them on the picture and saying, the bullshit, just celebrating this. And Netanyahu will not go to Sharm el-Sheikh today. Everybody's going, but suddenly he said he will not be in signing that agreement. That's strange.
read an article last night about that crash or whatever. They said that the steering wheel, they lost control of the steering wheel. And of course,
same accident what happened with maybe 30 years with one Egyptian nuclear science. It was the same playbook.
I put it up in the jumbo. If you guys want to see Portland, Oregon right now, what our good friend Yaya is about to roll up on here. Look at that. It's in the jumbo. So, like, as far as you can see, it's just a bunch of homosexual faggots who are naked. And it looks like there's some furries. I see some furries there, too. They're all laying out there. Good luck, Yaya.
That is a lot of mental illness in one place.
Damn, that's a lot of crazy.
Big time. That's crazy. That's what Yaya is about to enter. All right, here comes Yaya.
I'm not looking forward to it at all. I'm not looking forward to it. I told my husband, I said, "Oh my God, we're a little way off. We're right outside of Oregon, period. But oh God, please don't be in the streets because I'm not stopping. I mean, I think that's on a other road, but I'm like, oh my God, Jesus Murphy, I don't want to go. I don't want to hit nobody, but they better not come out there because we can't stop on a dime. I've got a heavy load. I can't just stop on a dime. So, but I think that's on one of the back roads. I hope that's in the town. But yeah, I'm not looking forward to this yet. Not at all.
Yeah. Search. Just write Portland, and I typed in Portland. And there's a bunch of clips like this. A bunch of them. They're all over the place right now in Portland. So just be careful. Watch out for those furries.
What the fuck?
You know, after Charlie Kirk and his fury, you know, the furry fiasco with that whole thing, just be careful.
I will. I'm fixing to go through some mountains, so I've been trying to get on here. We just left Mount Blair, Idaho, which is phenomenal. But yeah, we're. I'm not looking forward to this. But yeah, I'll be listening, or I'm gonna drop down because I'm sure some people are gonna want to come up. But everybody have a great day. I love y'all.
Yeah. Thank you, and you too. Be safe up there. It seriously looks like it's. Hopefully, if it's Monday, most of those furries will actually be at work. I don't know. We'll see. Yeah, so the Qataris, I don't know. They wiped them out over there in Egypt, and today they're going to sign that. And yeah, the fact that Netanyahu's not going to be there is quite concerning. You know, do they have something planned over there? Like, why is he not going? Like,
he said that reason is a Jewish holiday. Come on. Come on. This is such a bullshit. And, you know, that they're talking on Hebrew, and Trump just sitting there and doesn't understand anything. And when they mention his name, he just smiling. I'm telling you, all people around Trump, they would not care if he's dead. Then you have finally J.D. Vance and Marco Rubio to continue to destroy United States. He's the Speaker of the House. He doesn't care about Trump. He has bad people around him, 100%.
I saw a thing last night, and I kind of got a giggle at that Uri Geller or something like that. He's a famous psychic or whatever. He's warning Trump not to go. Don't let anyone get close to him. I mean, he went on and on about be careful, be careful. He's going to be praying for him, all this stuff and everything. So I'm kind of anxious to see what's going to happen.
No, I don't think. I mean, people in Israel like Trump. The other day when that Witkoff was in Tel Aviv, when they brought up Netanyahu's name, they booed, and when they brought up Trump's name, they started cheering for Trump. So, and same thing, like people in the Middle East like Trump. They don't view him as an enemy, so I don't think he's gonna have a problem.
But there is lots of people in Israel that doesn't like this surrender. This is surrender for them. So, I mean, it will be everybody coming. Macron, all these homo-global people will be there. Also, it will be Hamas representative, Irani, like everybody today in Egypt. So, I don't know. We will see what will happen.
Yeah, it's someone made down in the comments section though that they've had really bad feelings about it, and they're worried about Trump. So it's crazy. A lot of people getting these premonition feelings. There might be something behind that. That's pretty worrisome. But I threw a post up there, guys, and it was kind of what I was talking about. The guy in Atlanta, he made some Facebook posts. A lot of them, the most threatening post I saw, where he talked about being culturally genocided from his lands, and he said he's willing to defend himself and defend his people. That's pretty much all he said. There wasn't anything too deflammatory or crazy. He went to the synagogue unarmed because they did search him while he was there, and all he did was ask to speak to the head rabbi. And this guy is behind bars, and they just had his arraignment on the 7th, and they denied his bail. So he's behind bars, and he's so violent and such a threat to society that he can't even be given a bail. The other story is a guy in New York. He sexually assaulted 2 children. I believe one was 9 and one was 12. He got released on no bail. Got released back into society in less than 30 days. He was caught sexually assaulting a 12-year-old. I mean, and how many people did he sexually assault between them and not get arrested or caught for? And then he's again been released on $1 bail. This is the society we live in, where you make anti-Semitic remarks, you go to jail, no bail whatsoever. You sexually assault 12-year-olds, you get bail, and they release you right back on the streets. Can you guys guess which is which of these photos? I mean, it's crazy to me where our justice system is going, and all of it. It ties back to the woman stabbed on the bus. I mean, that guy was released on bail 26 times. The other murderer was released 30 times. I mean, if you're a black murder rapist and you live in a big city, you're going to get released. Or if you make anti-Semitic comments online, you're going to jail. It's crazy what America's turning into right before our eyes.
And remember, this is under Trump, and Trump is trying to push more bullshit. That's why when Trump says, like, oh, we're going to go after this or that, fuck off, man. Like, for what? All you're doing is giving these leftist nut jobs more of a reason to go after Americans even further. If you're white in America, you're toast. You can't do anything. They come after you left, right, and center. If you say a naughty word or if you piss somebody off, it's open season on your ass. But if you're black, Trump loves the blacks, keep releasing them. I posted yesterday, I'll put it up. This guy was arrested 100 times. 100 times. I'll put it up there. Man with almost 100 arrests, but no prison time, allegedly stabs a senior citizen in Indianapolis. This is it, guys. The civil rights is a license for blacks to murder whites. That's all it is. This civil rights bullshit has to go out the window. And this is total bullshit. We're getting wiped out in our own country by Trump. Trump's own policies are against us. I mean, this is ridiculous. And now you have You have Pam Bondi wanting to go after all the list of people who support these gun organizations. It's crazy. It's crazy. We do not want to give our government any of our data. Even Trump's administration should not have access to our data. Palantir is unconstitutional. And that's why Pam Bondi wants access to that list for the purpose of Palantir. It's bad news. And Trump is just as bad as the left when it comes to this. Surveillance state. That's what Trump is trying to usher in. He is trying to usher in a surveillance state like what China has. And he says it's to get illegals out. You don't need a goddamn surveillance state to get illegals out. You need to look at somebody and you can see immediately they don't belong here and kick them out. It's that easy. I'm going to run the largest mass deportations in the fuck off, dude. This is the biggest load of bullshit. Now he's running the military across the whole country for what? He's not deporting anybody. 400,000 people is not a deportation. When Pakistan did it, Pakistan deported 1 million people in 90 days. They said, get out or we're coming for you. And they all left. It's that simple. All these other countries are doing it. They were all refugees from Afghanistan war in Pakistan when that war ended. They said, pack your shit and get out. And they did. Trump's just playing these stupid games because you got retards like Marjorie Taylor Greene. Oh, we need labor. We need the slave labor so we can keep making money. It's hurting my construction business. I'm only going to make $3 million this year instead of $5 million. Yeah, we don't care. We'll deport your ass back to Mexico with all your lover boys that you love so much that you want to hire. If you stand with your illegal employees, we'll deport your ass too. We don't care. We're done with this bullshit. You know, America's getting run over like a freight train. You got people going to prison for 25 years for saying the N-word. You got a guy going to prison for 9 years for what? For saying something anti-Semitic? Are you kidding me? While they're letting these monsters roam the streets, getting arrested 100 times until they kill somebody. That Federico girl, or this Irania. That guy was arrested over 39 times with 25 felonies, and they just keep letting them out because they're black. It's civil rights. My civil rights. Fuck your civil rights. You want civil rights? Take your dumb ass back to fucking Liberia, because that's where you belong. Liberia was set up for blacks. When they became free, their reparations were Liberia. It was given to them. An entire nation was given to them as reparations. And now they're still here crying. We need you to give us, no, we need you to get out of our country. You're not American. The 14th Amendment was never properly ratified. There's no such thing as a black American. Get out. We don't care. There's no such thing as birthright citizenship. Get out. We don't care. That's how it works. Trump's going after one piece of the 14th Amendment, which was never properly ratified. It was forced onto us. Just like desegregation, the 101st Airborne took their guns and their bayonets and put it to the back of the heads of high school children and forced them at gunpoint. High school children were forced at gunpoint by our own military to get out of their own schools. And Trump's stupid ass can't even kick these people out of our country. You did it to our own people, and you won't do it to illegals? That's called treason. With the Hard Sellers Act, over 70% of America were against it. They forced it through anyways. With Biden, we didn't vote for Biden. He stole the election and flooded us with 30 million people. We didn't vote for that. Nobody chose that. That's treason. And Trump's too goddamn pussy to even kick these people out. Because, oh, my construction business is gonna lose some money. I'm not gonna make as much money as I would with all this slave labor. Well, who's paying for it? Not you. We the people are paying for it. You're not paying for it. You're getting the cheapest labor in American history. In 1971, $1. Minimum wage in 1971 was $1.60. Okay? But it was backed by gold. I'll put it up here in the Jumbotron so you can see it. I made a post on this. In 1971, the minimum wage was $1.60 an hour. That at the time was 1.82 ounces of gold per 40 hours a week. Okay? 40 hours in a week, your work week. At $1.60 an hour, you would get 1.82 ounces of gold. That was the equivalent. Today, that's $150 an hour. It's probably even higher. $150 an hour. Let me see. Zero just posted in the chat. Gold is at $4,097 an ounce right now. So you do the math. $4,097 an ounce.
Times 1.
Let's do the math. At 1.82 ounces a week. Here, I'll pull up the calculator. $4,097 an ounce. That's $7,456 a week is what they were making minimum wage in 1971. Yeah, let that sink in. In a month, that's $29,862 a month. Working minimum wage in 1971, 40 hours a week. Did you hear what I just said? Working minimum wage in 1971 with a gold-backed dollar, they were getting paid $1.60 an hour. And today's value, they were making $29,826 a month. $30,000 a month was minimum wage in 1971. Because it was backed by gold. And today, they want you to work for $7.50 an hour. Let's do the math on that. $7.50 an hour times 40 hours a week is $300 a week. For a month, that's $1,200 a month. $1,200 a month is what they want you to work for now, minimum wage. Versus 1971 at $30,000. Do you see the difference? That's a big difference. And then they complain that people don't want to work. They have the cheapest labor in the history of the United States right now because they flooded us with all these illegals. And that's why they don't want to get rid of them. They don't want to get rid of their slave labor. And they want us to pay for it, is the worst part. How can people come here and work for these low wages? Well, if you don't have to pay rent, you don't have to pay food, you don't have to pay health care. Every single penny you make, you're sending it back to your third world hellhole that you come from so that you can go back there after 10 years and retire like a king. Well, Americans are stuck in America and have to retire in America. We don't get to retire down in Mexico, living on the beach, after only working 10 years. And we paid for that. And we're paying for all the people that were displaced and pushed onto welfare. You want to know why our national debt's going out of control? Because we're paying for all the Americans who got pushed onto welfare from all these foreign workers, from all this foreign labor. And we're paying for the health care and all the benefits of these illegals, so all these companies like Marjorie Taylor Greene's can hire these illegals. And in 1971, these boomers, they were making 30 grand a month in today's value. A lot of money. You see the difference? You understand why Gen Z's pissed? You want to know why Gen Z's attacking the boomers? That's why. They're pissed. You want to know why the boomers can buy property and buy houses? Because they were making good money. That's a big ass difference. I put up all the charts on my page of all the foreign employees that they're hiring over Americans. They're not hiring Americans. They're hiring foreigners. AI's not taking your job. Foreigners are taking your jobs. That's why they keep telling you, oh, AI. No, it's not fucking AI. It's foreigners. And they think we're too stupid to understand it. And they keep saying all this dumb bullshit. I put it up in the Jumbotron. Look at that chart.
Somebody's holding the button down, so I can't hear shit. Check.
Hiring all the foreigners over Americans. That red line on the top is foreign employees. And that blue line at the bottom that's basically going straight sideways are American people being hired. You see? You see why they want you to believe that AI is taking your job? It's not. It's not AI taking all the jobs. It's foreigners taking all the jobs. You want to see and understand why Marjorie Taylor Greene doesn't want to deport people? Because that's her slave labor. You want to know why the richest man in America in 1990 was worth $5.6 billion? And then George Bush Sr. signed the H-1B into law. And then he didn't sign NAFTA. He put NAFTA together and passed it on. And Bill Clinton signed it into law, but it was George Bush Sr. that put it together. And then what happened? What happened after 1990? Anybody know? America tanked. But all these guys became hyper wealthy. The rich became super wealthy, and Americans became poor. And we got flooded with foreign illegals. That's what happened. That's what happened.
But don't worry. I'm sure.
I'll put it up in the jump.
I'm sure
I'll put the chart up there so you guys can see exactly what happened in 1990 when he signed that, and look at the foreign workforce that piled in, and then look at the birth rates since 1990 to present. In 1990, birth rates tanked in America. Estimated percentage of 30-year-olds who are both married and homeowners. Look at 1990 until present. And then look, cumulative total of foreign-born white-collar workers in the U.S. It skyrocketed because they stopped hiring Americans. This process has been going on for a long time, and it's all about H-1B and illegals. It's all right there in your face. I'm giving you everything you need to understand this right there. Unless you're black, you should be able to understand it. It's up there in the jumbo. Look at it. Look with your eyes. Look at it. Look at those charts. And then they're paying people $7 an hour, when in 1971 they were making 30 grand a month. In today's value, they were getting paid $1.60 an hour. Today's equivalent of 30 grand a month.
You have to work an hour to buy a dozen eggs. That ought to tell you something.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's absolute insanity. And that's what's happening. And that's why they don't want to kick all these foreigners out, just like Marjorie Taylor Greene. And again, in 1990, the richest man in America was worth $5.6 billion. And now today, the richest man in America is worth $500 billion. And it's all based off of our taxes. All the money these billionaires are making, it's all based off of government contracts with our tax dollars. They're just raping us left, right, and center. That's all they're doing. Get educated on this. Pay attention. Start looking at the charts. Start learning. Because this is what it's going to take to fix it. You can't expect some high school kid to go work for $7 an hour. And these boomers, when they were getting out in the workforce working in high school, they were making good money. They could go buy a car. Today, you can't buy shit. You can't even survive. That's why people used to be able to move out of the home. After high school, you could go get a job at a factory and move out and start a family. You can't do it anymore. All these foreign invaders destroyed it. Nixon going off the gold standard destroyed it. And they've been printing us into oblivion. In the last 10 months, we lost 10% of our dollar. That is crazy. Household income of $100,000, you just took a $10,000 haircut. Sorry, that one went down the wrong tube there. This is a huge problem, guys. This is a huge problem.
Yeah, General, you said that, I just coming back, you said that Afghanistan deport so many people. After 12 days of war, Iran, because most of the Mossad agent in Iran was Afghani, they deport almost 2 million of them in less than 1 month. So it's possible to deport people who are not part of your country. It's very simple.
Yeah, all these countries have done it. I've seen Tunisia do it. I've seen Afghanistan do it. I've seen Pakistan do it. I've seen Saudi Arabia do it. Saudi Arabia deported 45,000 Muslim Brotherhood guys in 1 week. 45,000 in 1 week. They wrapped them up, kicked them out. And the way they run mass deportations, they make them walk out of the goddamn country. So yeah, I also saw Turkey. Turkey did mass deportations for the Syrians. The Turkish people just went in and burned the whole damn city down and forced them all out because the guy raped a 5-year-old kid or something like that. They've done it all across the entire world. They're doing mass deportations constantly. But in America, they don't want to do mass deportations because, my money. We gotta have that money. Marjorie Taylor Greene's got to make an extra $2 million a year. Elon Musk got to make an extra $100 billion a year. That's what it's about. And it's all based on our tax dollars. We're paying for it. We are paying for it. And we are paying to be put on unemployment. We are paying to be put on welfare. It's fucking insane. Wake up, people. Ivy, how many people have you guys deported in your country?
I don't know. We don't have. We don't have so many of them.
You guys got a ton of them. You guys, like, they flood your country constantly. You just kick them out into Europe somewhere else.
You mean from border? Oh yeah, constantly, or the daily, 1,000, more than 1,000. Yeah. I was thinking inside my country. No, when they come to border, we just kick them inside, more deeper in Europe, because we are the first entry point of Schengen. So we have different rules. We don't let them just to stay. We just push them inside. You want them? Here you go. Daily, 100, 500, 30, 15. It doesn't matter. Whatever is on our path, we just kick them inside deeper. And I don't like to stay in my country because they know that they are not welcome. They can feel it. They don't feel safe in my country. So most of the time they like to be like just transit country. They know that they are not welcome, so they don't stay long. Even if they get the job, they trying to go deeper in Europe.
Alright, I'm getting tired of streaming, and it's fixing to get loud. I am at work, so tell me happy birthday with a thumbs up. That'd be cool. And I hope y'all have a good day. We'll stream again tomorrow, I'm sure. Or if a really cool space comes on tonight, I might stream something. Alright, later.